welcome to the Santaquin City Architectural Review Committee. It's Thursday, July 8th, 2021. We're getting started at 5:34. I'm Jason Bonham, the Community Development Director, and we have Councilmember Nick Miller and Ron Jones, who are members of the Architectural Review Committee. We also have Penny Reeves in the room, who's helping us with our Zoom tonight. I guess quickly while I have this up, on our agenda tonight we've got two agenda items. We have a commercial building in the Ridley's development on pad site A, which is a proposed fizz drinks business, and then we have a commercial building also in the Ridley's development. There's not a name for that pad site. I would assume that it's maybe pad site D, but it's not really designated, but it's just north of pad site A, and it's a proposed Tommy's Car Wash. So I'll switch screens over, and here on Zoom we have Jared Mitchell from AWA. We also have Luke Howarth, who's also with AWA, and then we have Jillian Coop, who is who are you with again, Jillian? You're with the Tommy's Car Wash, or are you a
Tommy's Car Wash? Yeah.
I work with Tommy's Car Wash. Yep.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you're with a separate firm or a consultant or whatever, but
And Jared's with Associated Food Stores, representing Ridley's, and as the construction manager, and Luke Howarth is with Ridley's as their legal counsel.
okay, great. Thanks for that clarification. Okay, so let's get started. Sorry, I don't know why that keeps disappearing. Okay, so the first thing on the agenda is the fizz business. Here's the elevations that they have. I spoke with Jared just prior to the meeting, and as you'll first notice, there's no colors on this. One thing that will make this a little bit easier, if you will, is that the colors and the materials are going to be completely consistent with the other buildings that have been done in that development. So if you remember the pad site C building that was just done, in fact, Jared sent me an email. I can pull that up so you can see the colors and remind yourself of what that looks like. But
I noticed too, they're brick. It's the Interstate Monterey, which is the same thing we're using for City Hall.
mm-hmm. Yep. So you open that up. So just to jog your memory of what was done, I guess just to the east, this is the approved building on pad site B that's got the kind of brown color on the top with the lighter stucco, and then the red brick that
Do we know what, is that brick the same as the
I
Monterey?
believe it's Monterey as well, because
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, if you look at the material schedule on both sheets, they're virtually identical, from the brick to the paint color on the ephes, and the board and bat material and color it's all the same. So between that, the pad C building and Macy's.
Yeah, so the Macy's really was kind of the start of all the colors and materials, and since then we've kind of encouraged it to be cohesive and look similar to that, have similar materials and stuff. So going back to the rendering for the building, doesn't have the colors, but hopefully that kind of helps you, and those are already approved colors, and we know those work well together and look nice together. So yeah, here's the building. Really probably the most visible side with the street is going to be here, which is where the drive-through is.
So that's the backside, right?
Yeah, and maybe to help you a little bit with this is the proposed site plan. This hasn't been approved yet, and will be on the DRC agenda next Tuesday. But
Jason, put your mic closer.
but to kind of help you orient where we're at, The plaza on the corner of 4th East and Main Street is just here south of the fizz drink. So, so yeah, the west elevation is going to be the one that's on 4th East, and that's the one that you're looking at here. So let's see. And jumping back to my email, I'm trying to grab some. Oops. Let's see. There should be some red lines on that.
Could I ask a couple of questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, if you
Talk.
could pull that down a little bit so you can see the lower. The canopies, or not canopies, but the
Awnings.
awnings, I think they're noted as 6 on there, reference number 6, is it? I don't see anything that shows how far they project from the building, other than if I was looking on the site plan, there was some dash lines. If you go down to the next sheet, you kind of get an idea. Those dash lines there, that looks like it's about 4 feet. Is that about right? How far they'll project out from the wall?
And I'm looking at that in the wall sections. It's got a profile diagram of it, but I would have to. That's approximately right, but I can get you an exact. I don't. Let me. 3 feet. If you look at,
3 feet?
and maybe you don't have the full set of plans there.
Okay, well, I'm looking at this. No, we don't. We only have elevations and site plan.
So so from the building they project out 3 feet on our detail sheet, which I can send that over to Jason as well. Just have that, but it's 3 feet.
Okay, and that, now looking at the site plan, that looks about right. Seeing that the door on the south elevation is a 3-foot door, that looks like it projects out about 3 feet.
I should make sure, Jared. Can you see what we're looking at?
No, so I think you need to share your screen.
Sorry, I know that it's probably being seen on YouTube, but I forgot to make sure that you guys can see what we're looking at. So let me share that. Hey, go ahead, Nick.
No, I think that's fine. What we were just discussing is that the back wall, the west wall. It's too long for straightness, right? Like, what's the?
It ought to have some.
It's got to have some type.
I think it's every 30 feet. There's to be some variance in the elevation.
Yeah, and I think and Ryan Harris kind of initially looked at this and reviewed it to make sure it was ready. I think it actually meets that because this pickup window is extended out. The other thing that they have going for them that's not seen on this elevation is there's actually already trees in the park strip, but I think they're in their landscape plan. They're also providing trees on their side of the sidewalk that would break it up. Break it up a little bit, and that's something that a lot of people have done to help kind of break up more of a bigger flat wall. But
I don't know what your floor plan layout is, but is there any chance of getting a window in that west elevation to the north end?
So that's that was dictated a little bit by the Fizz, the soda company's layout, and that's why there isn't a window there, is because that is their actual kitchen. The window would be looking into their soda machines and whatever syrup lines they've got going in there. It could be a possibility, but that was why there is no windows as of right now.
Will there be any kind of sign along that side?
Yeah, the plan would be to have a sign there, maybe a small sign there, and probably one on the front, obviously at the opening. So
Yeah, I'm just looking for something to break up that elevation there on the west side.
Jason, the on the landscape plan, it only has shrubs.
oh, really?
There.
Well,
Yeah, and
maybe I'm thinking about the trees that are in the park strip. I think there's some existing trees that are there that.
Yeah, but there is. It looks like there's at least trees on the plan, but that's pretty far away from the building. Does that count to break that up?
Well, that's the question.
You've got a sidewalk, grass, more landscaping, a driveway, another flower bed. Trees are here, and you have all of that before the building. It just seems a little far away.
And if there's more trees that can help break that up, great. I think looking at the site plan,
Yeah.
that's not a really wide area for
Yeah.
big trees. I mean, I guess
Shrubs.
they have the grass and looks like they have some landscaped area with
Yeah.
what is that, like a mulch or rock or something. Looks like it's decorative stone. So, I mean, if you wanted to put some trees,
I think you could get some type of columnar tree to break that up. I think, you're probably just over 3 feet. I think you could break it up. I do think it does look longer than I think it was 30 feet, isn't it?
yeah. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I'm hopping around. I'm trying to make sure I got these red
Yeah, that's
lines.
got to be about 35, 36 feet or so.
I was just from the one.
I'm kind of looking across at the parking stalls on the
Oh,
other
okay,
side of the
okay.
building, which are 9 feet apart.
Sure. Oh, I see 9.
So you see,
Oh, yeah.
So I guess just following up on that comment, what would you consider a break in the plane? What kind of options would you consider as acceptable for a break in those planes?
well, what's the actual ordinance say?
Yeah.
I mean, it dictates something like a 5-foot break every 30 feet,
Yeah,
and I think that's excessive.
there's different things that can help. If you don't have that 5-foot projection, that there's other things. I know landscaping is one of them. I think a change in the materials
Building materials
is something that helps as well. So obviously, a lot of your materials are running horizontally.
Yeah.
Canopies.
If there was a vertical change or something that made it different. I know in the past, Ron brought up canopies or awnings, things like that can really be a tool to kind of help break that up and provide a little bit depth to that elevation.
The other thing I see on this east elevation down here, you see these light fixtures there, 2 of them across each entrance.
Mm-hmm.
But the west side is the side that faces the street, and I just dislike it when a building turns its back on the street. And I almost wish we had lights or something like that to bring a little more
Interest.
Interest,
Mhm.
exactly.
Well, and that's interesting as well. And I wonder if you could just, obviously we'll have to look at the ordinance to see, but I question if you could do it with just some landscaping
Mm-hmm.
and potentially even, the plaza has landscape lighting.
Uh-huh.
Maybe pull some landscape lighting with some uplights or something on those trees
Yeah.
to help add something to that.
What do you think of that idea, Jared? If you were to put some maybe some columnar trees that grow vertical and maybe some lighting on the building that shines on those trees, or even lighting in the landscaping.
Absolutely, and I know you guys don't have this. I'll do my best to show it to where you can see it. But there are lights on that west wall. If you can see at the top of your screen there, so there's 2. There's one on either side of the drive-through window, and then there's 2 more down that plane, that long plane of the building. And so we could certainly do something simple there with the landscaping from the ground up to create some break in that wall space fairly simply. And I think it'd complement the building and the landscape around it pretty well.
What is the nature of those fixtures? Are they just a compact wall pack, or are they a gooseneck? They hang out from the building?
Let me take a look really quick. W1. Yeah, I believe they're a gooseneck like what is on the front elevation.
And you've got several shrubs along in that planter, but maybe if every second, third
Yeah.
tree, like you say, a columnar tree or something else, just so it has a little interest. Some that are down low, some that are taller.
So those lights, if you want to, Jason, if you want to flip to that front the elevation at the entry.
Yeah, sorry.
It's
I'm
the same light that's at the entry. They just they didn't update their.
so sorry. Where am I
Yeah.
going?
Just
Right here.
Go right there.
Right there at the entrance, those two lights on
Yeah.
either side of the entrance.
Yeah, so they'll be matching all the way
So
around.
did I see 3 on the other side, or how many?
4.
4, okay, good.
We've got one on either side on either side of the drive-through window, and then on the flat plane of wall you have going to your left.
You have
got
2 more.
Okay.
And those are the same decorative
same
exterior.
fixture. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to want those, make sure that those are on these elevations as well, because you got some lights, but not all of them. But it does look like maybe some of your other plans show them. So we just want to make sure all the plans show it so they don't get missed.
Yep. Absolutely.
So do you have red lines for the building? Or
That's,
just
yeah,
the
sorry, I'm
landscape?
trying to find it. I think I maybe
And that was one of the red lines you called out. Were the lights.
right.
Recognizing that they were on the electrical plans, but not on the.
Well, it is, but it keeps bringing up a Tommy's Car Wash one. I wonder if something got mixed up with the files.
Likes me best.
I'll see if I can shoot it back to you, Jason. Let's see.
Yeah, it's pad side A, but when I click on it, I wonder if something got mixed up with the files.
So on the landscape one, it just was calling for trees then, right? The red lines on the landscape.
Yeah, on the landscaping, I think it was talking more about some of the site plan landscaping. The trees that were in the park strip, I think Ryan had redlined and suggested that the one tree be moved to a different spot so that we don't have as much of a clear view area with people that are turning in. But yeah, it was more with the trees in the park strip. But I think your comments about maybe some additional trees closer to the building to break up that flat wall expanse would be great as well. Yeah, see, I click on that. It's definitely the right file, but it keeps bringing up. I wonder if maybe he saved it and created an issue.
He was
Here, it's coming back to you right now.
All right, thank you.
Okay, should hit you any minute.
So while we're waiting for that, is there any other comments on the elevations?
No, I don't think I had any.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
So we can work up something on that wall then, and then update the elevation to show the correct lighting. Is that something that we can approve through staff at this point, or does
Yeah.
it need to come?
So I think that's probably something that can be a condition of approval. Yeah, we'll see. We're going to get to the a motion and a vote, but that's certainly something that will probably be a condition of approval and won't hold you up to move forward. So yeah, Ryan had pointed out the lighting thing there. I remember this. So the reason why that flat wall expanse isn't considered a flat wall expanse is our code says that you can't have that 30 to 50 feet, which
30 to 50.
it's funny that we give this range. You think it'd just be one number, but obviously if it's ambiguous, it's generally the more generous number. So as you can see there, they're let's see, 39 feet, and I think it's a total of 58 for the whole building. So they fall within that 30 to 50 feet. But I agree with you, Nick. I think there's definitely some things that can be done there, and we appreciate Jared, being open to putting some landscaping there and making that a little bit more interesting. Obviously, if there's a sign there, you won't want to impede that, and that'll create a little bit more interest on that side. But I think some plants with some lighting strategically placed would be really good to make that side of the building, which is very visible from 4th East, look a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, and that area, I don't know what the area from the wall to the actual drive-through curb is, but we'll need to be cautious of the growth pattern of whatever we put there, just so it's not a nuisance for the drive-through as well.
Right. Yep, you
So.
don't want anything growing out. It definitely need to be a columnar type of a tree that's grows vertical and doesn't, come out and be in a spot where it could scratch people's vehicles or something. So, I think, I'm glad. Thanks for sending those red lines over. This is jogging my memory on some things. On the south elevation, there was also a missing light there that was next to the door. Probably similar to what we just talked about. I don't think there's the possibility of having windows over there because that's probably where the kitchen is. Because that south elevation is also maybe not the most interesting looking, but if that light's there, it's a pretty narrow building, 25 feet. Is there anything more that you want to see there?
Would there be a canopy over that door? That's on the south elevation. Well, even the north.
I don't think you show one there. Jump back to.
And then is it just concrete right up on that south side?
Sorry, I got this.
Where the arrow's pointing, you mean? Or where are you looking? Where?
Sorry, let me jump to the right. My zoom bar on my screen is in my way, and I can't get the right document selected. So, bear with me for just a second. There we go.
So that's all concrete right around it.
Concrete patio, yeah.
Boy, can you put a little island planter?
Do you think there's the possibility, Jared, of having a little bit more landscaping to break up all this concrete there?
Yeah, island planter.
Yeah, we can look at some options there. I know
Couple of them.
there was a big desire to keep. We had to rework the site plan quite a bit to maximize that patio area as much as possible, and that was
It
actually
could be a patio area.
that was actually part of the city's request too, because of its proximity to your park, the corner park.
Right.
They wanted easy, kind of an easy path of travel, and really kind of be an extension of that park area where you can sit and sit outside and eat or whatever.
Yeah. And I think our intention there was to really embrace the plaza. Unfortunately, there's a drive-through that's right in between it, so it's not quite as a nice patio area right next to the plaza. So I think, and this is just my opinion, I think because we have the plaza there and people can go and sit out there, I would be fine reducing that patio area, at least with just a little planter right here to maybe put a few things in there to break up that wall.
Or I was even wondering out in the middle there, like a 4x4 or something.
Just something out in the middle here to.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'd still love to have the patio stuff out there, but
Yeah.
because of its proximity to the plaza, I'm okay to break that patio area up a little bit to maybe add some landscaping. What do you think of that idea?
Yeah, we can. I think we can certainly accommodate something there. So.
Okay, thanks for clarifying that. I didn't even really recognize that as well. I think I just noticed it as cement and didn't see, patio furniture out there or umbrellas or whatever to recognize it as that. Okay, anything else?
Could I see the north elevation?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
just saw it on the site plan, but we have these two columns that kind of stick out with
Uh-huh.
lights on.
Yep, I think the north elevation looks great.
And then that's also got landscaping, right? It's got a small, just a standard size sidewalk that runs along it with a large landscaping area in front of it.
Right, yep. That looks
Okay.
like it's probably like an employee.
It's-
I guess both of them are probably employee access, right?
Yeah, well, the one down on the south elevation, I think you'll see customers exiting out there onto the pad to use the patio.
Okay.
Yeah, I just kind of wish what you have there on that north elevation was also on the south elevation, something that breaks up that south elevation as it's visible from Main Street.
Yeah, that'd be
Because
great. I think
That's
that
pretty plain for a Main Street view.
and we'll have the plaza kind of in between that view and the building.
Yeah, but I think honestly to maybe even simplify it is the patio furniture, like with some nice umbrellas and something. You can kind of break that up, and then you'll see that before you see this big 25-foot wall, right? 25 foot in length. So I think if you did something like that, I don't know what Fizz's rules are or whatnot, but if you had a couple of those in there, I think it's more inviting to have people come over and sit down.
Yeah, I agree. Ideally, the building would look great if it was mirrored to that. But I agree that if you add a little bit of a landscaping planter there with something to break that wall up a bit, maybe a shrub or a tree that is appropriate for that space. But then some of your patio furniture, if you had the umbrellas or whatever, that's going to really break up that the flat wall expanse, if you will. But so I think,
and I can talk to. Obviously, we're building the building not as an operator. It'll be another company that comes in and operates it. So I can get with them and talk through some of those options as far as how they're planning on using that patio and get you when we resubmit to you, we can give you a little bit better representation of what that patio use is going to be.
Okay.
As far as the furniture type. Because I would imagine that they would have, if they're going to have chairs out there, they're going to have umbrellas too, and kind of create a little bit more of an ambiance out there. So
great. Okay, well, I think it's safe to say that east elevation looks great. Lots of windows, got some nice lights, got the board and batten brick. I don't know if there's much anybody wants to say on to that.
So I don't, and I don't know. We don't. Discuss the signage. Do we have regulations on signage?
So
it's just
signage,
a question.
They'll need to submit a sign permit, and we'll look at that and make sure that it's the appropriate size and all that.
Okay, I think it looks great. I do. I like this layout. So.
I'm assuming you'll probably just have a sign front and center right over the door.
And that's what I don't know exactly is how if they're gonna want it, depending on how much signage we're allowed they're allowed on the building. They'll certainly have one there. They may have one on that south elevation or the west elevation.
Okay.
So I'm not 100% positive on what their sign plan is.
Yeah, it's like a percentage of the
correct.
The elevation that it's on.
The linear elevation. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think we've covered everything, unless you guys have anything else.
I do not.
I'm good.
Okay, so just maybe as a review, we've talked about the west elevation and adding some landscaping, some columnar trees that could break up that flat wall expanse that would kind of accompany and look good with the lighting that's there. We talked about a little bit of landscaping on the south elevation. It's anticipated that there'll be some patio furniture there. I don't know if that's necessarily architectural, but I think with that understanding that there could be patio furniture there, that will help with kind of covering up that flat wall expanse. But I think those were the only two items that really,
other than just the colors, are pretty much what's over on the store, right?
And they're listed the same. Usually we want to see the color board, but because they're exactly the same as what we've seen before, I don't know if there's anything that needs to be mentioned specifically on color. But I think those are the things that we covered. Anything else? Okay, if there's nothing else to discuss, I'll look for a motion.
Okay. I move that we approve the commercial building in the Ridley's development, pad site A, for the fizz drinks as shown, but with the following conditions. And on the west elevation, that there be placed some landscaping, some trees, columnar type trees to kind of break up the wide expanse. That the gooseneck type light fixtures that are on the front of the building also be shown on that west elevation. and on the south elevation. Then the south elevation have some type of landscape planter to help break up the patio. And it was just be our understanding too that there will be landscape furniture with umbrellas on that site.
Okay, we have a motion by Ron Jones. You got a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? I wonder if maybe in the motion, do we want to, just to give a little bit more direction, do we want to indicate the number of trees? I know it's probably based on whatever space they have there, but do we want to at least say like 2 or 3 trees or something like that, or
Every 6 feet apart or
I don't know. I would leave it up to the landscape
Okay.
architect, to be honest. I've seen it. I'm thinking specifically of a building, and they just have a couple, 3 of them, and it's not as long as that. But I would just let them design it what looks good, just to break it up. I think you understand the intent. The only other question I have: are we asking for a landscape planter on that south side, or are we asking them to consider?
That's another good clarification I was going to bring up is, do you want the landscaping to be right up against the building, or do you like the idea of the little island planter in the middle
Well,
of that patio area?
I guess again, I kind of feel like I'd let them decide. You know, if they've got a layout of patio furniture, what works best with that.
Okay.
Um,
Do you have any? I know I'm putting you on the spot, Jared, but do you have kind of any indication of what you think you might want to do to put landscaping there on that south elevation?
I mean, oh, did I lose you?
No,
There
you're
we go.
good.
I mean, I look at, we could, trying to think of what's going to be best long term, what's going to be easy to maintain, and you know, not get damaged too much by the pedestrians and the guests. Heaven forbid skateboards, but no, something along the, like a planter box, a simple planter box along the building that kind of breaks up the height of that building a little bit and the width. It could be good with some small plants and shrubs in it. Possibly something out. I kind of want to leave if it were me, I would propose to leave the field of concrete open to be broken up by the seating.
Okay.
And the shading as much as possible, and keep the planters either close to the building or towards the drive aisle. My only fear with the drive aisle is, you know, the closer I get to the drive aisle, the more frequent it's going to be. You know, a truck's going to come over the curb and scrape it.
Yeah. Well, and that's a great point, and something that we can bring up in the site plan review is if there's a railing there that separates the
Yeah.
drive-through from that patio area.
Yeah, and I think there's going to have to be a railing there. So
Well, I appreciate that clarification. I think what's been indicated, and I think I'd agree, is kind of putting the trust in you to make it look the best. You know, I think sometimes just when we have these conditions, you know, everybody's kind of got an image in their head, and we want to make sure that image is clear to everybody. I kind of picture maybe 2 or 3, you know, cypress type, evergreen, junipers, whatever, that are kind of tall and skinny that grow up a little bit but are still very narrow. But
I think everybody kind of has a different image in their mind
Yeah.
of what they want to see, and I prefer to leave that to the designers. you
okay,
know.
then we'll
I mean, my one image I see is a raised planter with almost a bench seating height around
on the west elevation.
on that south.
Oh, on that south. Okay, yeah, I was talking about the west elevation, but
Oh.
but
I'll let them
okay.
decide.
That was just the question clarification that I had. So we have a motion and we have a second. Any more discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Say nay. Okay, Jared, that's unanimous. That architectural rendering's been approved with those 2 conditions that are mostly just landscaping. So we'd appreciate if you'd kind of resubmit that, and obviously we still have a ways to go with the site plan review, which is going to take place on Tuesday at the DRC. So, hey, we appreciate you kind of hearing us out and working with us on maybe a couple tweaks that can really help make that building look attractive. And we appreciate the work that you've done, and we're excited to see this built and see some more services and opportunities for the residents of Santaquin City.
Great. Thank you guys. We appreciate it as well.
All right, our next agenda item is just north of what we looked at. And bear with me, my yeah, that's still the old one. My Zoom bar is getting in my way. Gotta creep in there. Let's see. I got way too many.
Is this the first Tommy's Car Wash in Utah?
Yep, she's nodding her head.
Yes. I'm still muted. I couldn't get to my unmute fast enough. Yeah.
I just Googled Tommy's Car Wash, was looking at some of the photographs of other buildings in other states.
Okay. Perfect.
I liked it. I liked the interest in the building.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
said as well.
Yeah.
You can zoom in these pictures a little bit more too if you want, and you can see the more defined color if that helps. I know that it seems
Yeah.
all black at this point.
Sorry, I've got Zoom. I've got, you know,
You've got too many things going.
I'm trying to get the right document so I can get to. So sorry.
No problem. I do have them available too if you need anything recent. I do have the site layout that we did submit, and I believe that's going through on the next meeting as well.
Yeah. Well, I think you're probably planning to be slated on the DRC meeting that's 2 weeks from Tuesday. I think you're on the 27th.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Yes. You guys do them bi-weekly, correct?
Correct. Yep. So we have one
Okay.
next Tuesday.
You do it a little bit more often than most, so that's great.
Okay, so yeah, this next agenda item is just north of what we looked at. This is a proposed car wash called Tommy's Car Wash. I finally found the right document. We got the site plan there. You can kind of see.
Yes.
We just looked at this pad site A, and let me zoom in a bit.
This is called we're on the fuel center.
Yeah, at one point it was contemplated to have a fuel center there, but now it's transitioned to this proposed car wash. So there's the site plan for you. We can come back to that, but let me take you up to the renderings on the building. So the main, they've listed the elevations a little bit differently. So the main elevation that's going to be seen from 4th East is going to be this front elevation. And then the elevation that's going to be seen from the interior of the development is this back elevation. So very similar, lots of windows. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jillian, these windows are basically going to be the inside of the car wash. So you'll be seeing cars through those windows as they go through.
Correct. You'll see you will see our equipment through the windows as well as the cars. We want people to feel like they're not in an enclosed building when you're going through our car wash.
Okay, and then just making sure I'm
You
getting
basically have a glass roof.
You are correct.
and they got a glass roof, that's correct. So making sure I'm getting this right, your entrance is going to be on the south side, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so the entrance is, which is going to be seen from the south, is going to be this one right here.
Correct.
People will travel south and pay at these kiosks and then kind of wrap around and go through the car wash to the north, towards
Correct.
the grocery store, if you will.
Correct.
So that's that elevation, and then the elevation that you can see if you're standing to the north of the building is this one right here, which is where the cars will exit.
Correct.
Okay, so in kind of our preliminary discussions with Jillian, again, you can see that a lot of the colors are very consistent with the other colors and materials that were used elsewhere and on the building that we just talked about. So again, that makes it a little bit easier to know that the colors that they're using are and have been used elsewhere. The only color that I have a question about, Jillian, is this color that is obviously not the same as anything else. And sorry, my computer's.
Yes. So what we are going to have to going to do is so you were able to give us a sample or send over what the grocery store has for the brick, and so we match that material
Okay.
on the exterior of the building. It actually is the same color as the knee wall brick.
Okay, so it is the same color. It's just maybe on this
Yes.
electronic PDF, it looks a
Yes.
little bit lighter, a little different.
Yeah, so it's the same color as the knee wall.
Okay, and then they do have this all of this surface that's around the tunnel
It's
is
black.
more of like a metal.
We did change that for this design,
Okay.
so it is actually not metal currently for
Okay.
yours.
What is that material?
It's a composite.
Okay,
Is it ACM type product?
Yes.
Okay.
ACM being
Well, it's usually aluminum composite material. There's kind of a, what do I want to
It's
say?
actually, yeah, let me look. It says on the corner up on the top right of that screen. Let me pull it up on my
Usually they
screen.
have the exterior face of it is metal.
Yeah, that is actually, sorry, I gotta zoom in on my screen. It's a solid wood, panels, or sorry, that one. Yes,
Is it actual wood or is simulated?
so the MCM one, which is, so we're looking at, you wanna know what the, WPB one is?
yeah.
I can tell you that here,
WPB1 is solid wood panels,
yes.
but the surface of it is going to be metal, or it's going to appear to be metal.
Well,
It does have, the finish on it will be, a little bit, yes, it'll have like a more of a sheen finish to it, yes.
but does it have a wood grain appearance to it?
No, it does not.
Okay.
Sorry if I'm making you dizzy.
No, it's fine. I'm looking at my screen, so if you see the back of my head, that's because I have this up on the other screen.
And so open up. What do you guys think of these colors? Obviously,
I'd be curious to see better the color of those ACM material. Or,
The black.
These ones are
Yeah, what?
black.
so is
it
that
will be black.
that's
Okay.
a black? Because I
Okay.
think the metal surfaces elsewhere in the development are technically called like a medium bronze, which it's pretty close
Pretty
to
close to
black, but
black.
it's got a little bit of a kind of a brownish hue to it.
Yeah.
No, these ones would stay black, just to stay consistent with some of our branding.
Okay.
Yeah, if you were to Google Tommy's Car Wash,
Oh,
you'd
yeah.
see actual photos.
Yeah, and like, we appreciate Jillian. She's already worked with us, and a lot of their car washes have a lot brighter colors on them, a lot bright reds
Yeah.
and stuff. And so we've told them that we expect that having consistency with other buildings in the development would probably work better and be more cohesive. So they used a lot of the brick, same colors. That metal wood panel material that we just talked about is obviously a little bit different, but
Let's see if I can find you an actual picture. We have one location that just did it in Grand Haven, Michigan. See if I can get you a picture of it yet. It literally opened last week.
So how did Santaquin merit the first in Utah?
Yeah, that's a good question.
everybody's our ARC members here are very interested and intrigued by you putting your first car wash in the state of Utah in Santaquin.
I mean, we are really excited to be here. So from my understanding, Santaquin is a very close-knit town, and we seem to thrive the best in close-knit towns. So we are a local company here in Michigan. We grew up here in Michigan. So I've been going to Tommy Express car washes since I was in diapers. That was like a Saturday ritual growing up. So they have been around for 50 years. And again, it's a hometown thing here in Holland, Michigan, and so we try to stick closer to hometowns.
Yeah, we've recognized that you've got probably hundreds of car washes across the nation, but you've got none in Utah. So we're not
Yes.
familiar with your brand, but we're excited that you're interested in looking at our community.
Yes, we are very excited to be able to be a part of your community, or hoping that you guys say yes to us. Let's see if I can get your name again.
Car wash business. I'm going to tell him he missed out.
Do you want to be a part of the car wash business?
Well, I was saying my brother is in the car wash business here in Utah, and I'm going to tell him he missed out.
Oh my goodness. So what kind of car wash does he have?
Supersonic.
Oh, okay. I don't believe there's any in Santaquin currently, is there?
No.
We do have one car wash, not supersonic. It's more of a local.
Is it a coin op?
It's
no.
like a classic car wash.
Yep.
Just a standard car wash. You could use a credit card or
Yep.
pay whatever.
And I guess there's the car wash that's attached to a gas station. So yeah, we do have this service in the community, but obviously
Nothing like this.
I don't think we have any with the tunnel.
No.
no, it's the garage door, go in, and yeah. So
I think this looks great. The
Yeah.
colors in the brick are consistent. I like the black just to break it up enough. I like the look of the national feel and consistent with your brand across the nation.
Yeah.
The landscaping plan looks great. The walls are broken up. I guess it's the rear side is broken up by the vacuums, I assume those were.
Yes, if you scroll to the picture of the site, you will see that on the opposite side that faces in there, yep, we will have vacuums. And our vacuums do have canvas canopies over them.
Yeah.
On this particular site, we haven't picked it, so normally they're red. And they're red because that Tommy's color is red. So we have changed your end walls to match the brick instead of keeping them our standard bright red. So we will, at that point, we will be matching the canvases to that color. So
to
we'll
the
have to,
lighter brick or the darker brick?
the darker bricks.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll do yellow fabric with color matching. So
I think it's great. And that landscape plan is done really well. There's the smaller lines, stuff's broken up.
Yeah. I like it too. I really like it. I like how you've incorporated signage into the building, not something that's just added on afterwards.
yes, Tommy we are very proud of our sign company. So yes, thank you.
Yeah, and they've added some of the decorative lighting as well. I feel like that's a low hanging fruit for trying to adapt to an agrarian agricultural type of look. Is that kind of farmhouse lighting? So they've added some of that in some areas.
This is a modern farmhouse.
Well, sometimes it's the challenge. Frankly, some people have looked at it and thought it had more of a futuristic, look to it. So obviously, agriculture and agrarian has a little more of a traditional look to it. So I think sometimes it's tricky to match those two architectural styles, but I think it's something that can work, and it still kind of allows you to have some of the unique Tommy's Car Wash look and branding to it. So
Yes, the style of our building is definitely unique to Tommy's, and we do have a patent on that. So that part of it, we were able to change some of the colors and materials, but the actual, like the roof lines, are standard for us.
So the only red line we really had on this was that material we first opened up and talked about. Generally, it's not a primary exterior material, but it is something that could be used if it's approved by the ARC. So it's really kind of up to us of whether or not we're good with that material.
No, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think this is good.
Okay, do you guys have any other comments on this? Any other questions? Any suggestions? Anything?
I don't. I think this is put together really well, to be
I
honest.
do too. I totally agree.
Thank
Okay.
you.
If there's nothing more, I'll look for a motion.
Let's see, what's the title of the project here?
Oh, I can use the right tab again.
That's why. Okay. I move that we approve the commercial building in Ridley's development, Tommy's Car Wash. We approve it as shown, as as detailed.
Okay, we have a motion by Ron Jones. Do you have a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a second by Nick Miller. Any discussion on that motion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed say nay. Okay, that was unanimous. Jillian, thank you.
Thank
And like the other one, we'll look forward to having your proposal, your site plan on the DRC later this month. But we
Perfect.
appreciate both of you to kind of, I guess Jared's maybe jumped off, but we appreciate both applicants kind of taking initiative to get some of the architectural renderings taken care of, so that that can be conveyed as we go through the site plan process, and people can have a better, an easier time vision, imagining what this all will look like when it comes together. So, thanks for that.
Perfect. Thank you guys for your time.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, we have one more thing on the agenda. We have the meeting minutes from the last meeting, which was held on May 24th, 2021. Any questions about those? Any comments? Okay, I'll look for motion.
I'll make a motion. We approve the meeting minutes from the May 24th meeting.
Okay, we have a motion by Nick Miller. We have a second.
I'll
We
second.
have a second by Ron Jones. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passed unanimously. Okay, that's everything on our agenda. Anything else that needs to be brought up, or? Okay, I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn at 6:25. Thanks, everybody.
You're welcome.